Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much to Frank Knight. I've known him for so many years, and to see him transition and to see him arise in this level is amazing. But yes, I do have a nonprofit called Do It for the Youth, and it's to help families with financial hardships to get their kids in curricular activities. In this day and age, it is so hard financially to get your kids, especially if you have more than three, to get their kids into these registration. These registration fees are completely excessive, but it does benefit them in the future. It gets them looked into certain places where they're not seen. It gets the minorities recognized and as skilled and educated as they are. A lot of our minorities are definitely overlooked. They're kind of also abused by their skills and not being recognized as they should. And I am that voice for those kids that are not being heard. So I appreciate you guys for giving me that time to recognize that here in PA, it's here in New York, I'm trying to bring that out here as well, because this is where I'm from. I'm from the Bronx, New York, born and raised. So I want to bring that out here as much as I'm bringing to the Allentown. Allentown reminds me of home, so that's why my services are out there. But as well as I want to bring it out here. So I want to thank you so much for giving me that time, to give me that light, and to recognize that these kids are definitely being heard. So thank you so much for today. I truly appreciate it.
Give it up for DJ Thematics with the save. So, Stronger Than Stigma, a nonprofit organization designed as for us, by us social movement, dedicated to next-gen mental health advocacy. Stronger Than Stigma works to break down the barriers that keep people from reaching out for help and to eliminate the stigma around doing so by creating meaningful experiences in person and online that bring people together and prove that no one is alone in their struggle. Stronger Than Stigma believes that the millennial generation will be the force behind this needed social change. And in its leading way, one experience at a time, Stronger Than Stigma was founded in 2013, while the founder was a student at the University of Florida in 2020. Stronger Than Stigma reach became global due to the pivot to virtual programming in response to the pandemic, reaching over 50,000 people worldwide. Stronger Than Stigma also has an immersive pop-up called the Living Room, which is an installation for conversation created by the non-for-profit, which speaks to the next generation. The Living Room uses art, digital media, and performance to push boundaries of what was previously thought and impossible for the mental health space. The iteration will also produce data based on experience shared by New Yorkers, which will contribute to the global body of scientific research on the that's a word, public school, stigmatization. You know, yeah, nigga had to go through that. I ain't prepped this one. This is straight off of mental health issues, thanks to the addition of Harvard psychiatrists to our team. Yeah. And then they put, not sure if that's relevant. I probably shouldn't have read that because y'all heard my education. So like yeah, that public school where mental health starts. Says, use it in the set. All right, so we came up with this panel, especially because a lot of people who work with U.G.A are creatives, right? I believe everybody's a creative in their own right, in their own realm. But we work with a lot of comedians, artists, visual painters, digital graphic designers, dancers, you name it, all in that entertainment stratosphere and that media. And a lot of times when we talk mental health, it's a very broad thing, which is a necessary, needed conversation. But I feel a lot of times it's not honed in on the creative community and those things that they tend to go through. Like as an artist, like when you're trying to promo, get people to your show, and then you just keep getting hit with no's and what that does to your confidence and just not being happy with where you are with your life. That happens to everybody. But I feel in the creative world, from my experience as being a musician, like it hits different. Not that it hits deep or anything, but it hits different because of what you're experiencing. So I wanted to reach out to a variety of different creators in the content realm and share their experiences and talk about, doubt, depression, and inspiration. So with that said, I'm gonna pass it over to Miss Chaz.
Hola, mi gente. What it do? Thank you for being here. We really appreciate you, man, because if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be able to do really cool shit in really cool places, you know? And creating a space where we can be diverse in not only what we introduce to the people, but what we can produce for the people is kind of a blessing, especially these days. Having a space to just be is something to be grateful for. So thank you for being here. I'm going to introduce our lovely panelists. Hello, lovely panelists. Thank you for being here. From left to right, we have Alex Babbitt, comedian. We could keep clapping, you know, you could keep that going, you know. We have Spanish Barbie, adult content creator and sexual media influencer. Quis Chandla, right? Quis, I was close, man. Quis Chandla, hip hop music artist and college professor of social work. We have MTV Faith, content creator. There you go. And last but not, oh, look at that. Came all the way on the roads. And then we have Livengoodlivin, publicist. So personally, I wanted to run this a little bit more free flow when we come to the questions and how we have this conversation, because at the end of the day, it needs to be an open dialogue, right? So I'm going to pose the questions and you guys can have a little conversation. Then I'll throw another question in there and we can see where it goes, yes? Awesome. All right, so my first question is, how's your heart?
How's my heart?
How's your heart?
I feel like just anyone in creative space, we naturally have good hearts because, you know, if you do anything in a creative space, you got to be genuine to sell your message. Like, if you're a music artist and you're not genuine and transparent, no one's going to, you know, buy your tickets. If you're a comedian and you're not coming from a genuine place, no one's going to be like, no one's going to laugh at your jokes, no one's going to even stay there, you know. But at the same time, when you get to a certain level, and me personally work with some of the biggest names in the world, even one of my clients back there, Mikey Polo, me and him talk about it a lot. A lot of people try to get to us because we know certain people. Our hearts are always gonna be good and genuine, but it's also a little closed off to preserve our mental space so we don't have to start breaking down because we're looking out for people who wouldn't do the same. So, you know, it's good, but it's a little secluded.
Okay. Reciprocity, isolation. Let's pass the mics.
My heart's always healing, continuously. It's ongoing. You know, being a rapper, a college professor, sometimes you have so many different people that are looking for you and have high expectations, right? And you think that you're giving them your best product, and you're saying, man, I put in so much work to be able to present this to you, and you don't get the outcome that you expected. So your expectations start to kind of hurt you a little bit. But at the end of the day, you got to get back up and sit there and say, nah, like, even though I didn't get the outcome that I did, but where were the wins? We're going to get a lot of losses, but those losses are learning lessons. So your heart actually has to be really like tough, because you're going to fall down, and you got to be able to motivate yourself to be able to get back up, especially like bro was saying, if you're going to be genuine and authentic. A lot of people, they get that hurt and they don't heal, so they start to become bitter. So their heart starts to go awry. So you have to be able to understand that your heart is always going to be authentic as long as you continue to put one step forward and give it everything you got.
Like, I don't know. Heart's open, babe.
Wide open.
It's open. Like,
With all the faith?
All the faith. Pun intended. With like just living, being myself, and I celebrate authenticity, genuinity, and I acknowledge that, yes, I've been hurt 1,000,001 times, and some of us, I acknowledge that some of us are more guarded, but I also think that like some of us are more open, and I think that there's a balance, there's a cosmic balance, and some of us being more open and some of us being more closed off, and how I am is I'm more open. Yes, I might get more hurt, but I celebrate that shit because I'm going to learn from it, and we're going to grow, and through every trial and tribulation, I'm rich in character, babe. Nobody's ever going to take that from me, so yeah, like the heart's open, always, right?
All right.
That was so cute. I have to like
Yep.
top that. Well, there we go. Yeah, you know what I mean? It happens. Um, a lot of things in like everything in life is temporary. So I feel like that's like a weird, not weird question, but it's like, I mean, I'm good at the moment, you know what I mean? But then something may happen tomorrow and I'll be like, fuck. Oh, I'm sorry. I could curse? Is that cool? Oh, I'm sorry. I'll be like, fuck. I'll be like, oh shit, hold on.
Speaking about
I was like,
moment.
I'm not in church. No, I'll be like, fuck, like, you know what I mean? But, and then I just have to like get back to a place where I'm like, yo, relax. Like, it's not the end of the world. You had a bad day, but it doesn't mean you had a bad life, you know? But like, I'm dramatic, so I'm just gonna, I don't give a damn. I'm very dramatic. So like, I'll go through my whole like crying phase or whatever. Like, I'll be like, oh, fuck this, I hate whatever. But then I'm like, yo, like later on I'll smoke and I'll be like, yo, relax. You have a good life. You have a good life. Like, chill out. Like, you may be going through something right now and you have to like, you know, take steps or whatever to get to where you need to be. But everything is temporary. That's why even sometimes you're happy, haha, and then like something happened, you're like, oh shit, I'm back to square one. But like, that's just life. But it's like, I feel like every day we have new opportunities to make sure that like we just live the best life that we can overall. Like, if something happens, it's not like, okay, it's the end of the world. Like, you're going to bounce back, you'll be okay, and tomorrow you'll be smiling again, and, like, whatever. You'll figure it out. So, it takes time. But, yeah.
That was a good-ass question, by the way. I don't think we gave that enough credit for what it was. As listening to everybody else respond, the only answer I could think of is my heart is trying to be appreciative. I think that's a personal thing that I've battled with a long ass time. Like I don't really give a fuck about spending time with like my family and friends and shit. I just wanted to hustle. That's just like the energy I was designed around. Hustle, make money, hustle it, figure it out, how to grind, be the greatest, blah 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 blah. But I'm starting to appreciate spending time with like the people I love because there's a lot of to not be long-winded and shit. This journey is long. So even the highlights that we're all like striving for, you know what I mean, whatever your thing is, whether it's like I'm trying to get this accolade or this, like once that shit is over, you gotta go back to the people who actually care about you and not just the fan base that you've amassed or whatever whatever your egotistical goal is, you eventually have to let that go and just be a person. So like it, you know, so that's kind of where I'm at personally. That's what my heart is. I hope that answered your question.
All right, moving on to my next question. So I was personally curious, because we're all adults now, how did your ambition show up when you were a kid? To elaborate a little bit more, what kind of hobbies or interests did you have as a kid that give you a clue about the adult you and how you operate now? And we don't always have to go back into the circle. We can open it up based on conversation.
Yeah, but I always think about that a lot because, you know, growing up, actually, I was a great-ass baseball player. Got a scholarship and all that, but I tore my ACL. And, you know, I fell into deep drug depression, almost got kicked out. I had to get reinstated back, so that shifted a lot. But I had hobbies like playing the saxophone, hence I work with a lot of music artists now because I know sheet music. I can tell them if they're flat, if the composition's fucked up, you know. And yeah, like just working with athletes, being a former athlete, it just always felt natural being a publicist because I'm always thinking of how can I take their brand and put them on this outlet or get them this outlet, what look, what narrative we trying to sell, because that was just something I was always integrating in my mind. Just, you know, my hobbies always catered around that, so that's a good question right there for sure.
Sure, Babbitt.
Okay. The question was, how did it manifest? Does that mean like how did you see adult you being as a kid?
I feel like it comes into terms with when you go to therapy and you have a lot of these conversations nowadays that focus on mental health, we always go back to our inner child and the things we didn't get to receive as children that we overcompensated for or we allowed to influence the way that we move now as adults or how we operate or even what we chose to do. Yeah. Maybe you as a kid and you picked up one of those little Mr. microphones and you started doing shows for your family. You know, it manifests in many different ways. So I was just curious as to that.
The way you just described that, I understand. All right, for sure. One, how's everybody doing before I continue anything? How y'all doing personally? All right, cool. I felt like it was all emotional and sad. I didn't want to live in that.
It's the facial expressions.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all dialed in. That's what it is. Y'all
Nigga's
dialed
arms
in,
crossed. He's really reflecting. This shit is crazy. So, when when I was a young man, right? Look, when I was a kid, I always felt like there was two parts of my personality that manifested. There was a part of me that, because I'm a comedian by trade, as stand-up, that's what I do. I love making people laugh, and I think as a kid, being humorous and funny was the only thing I ever really cared about on like a studious manner. Like I would read books about it, and I hated reading, but I would
So
always
you got
read
the talks too much on your report card as a kid?
Okay. No, never did his homework. Never. Here's what I never got class clown because I was always the second funniest kid. Like I was never the funniest. I was never the funny or cool kid. That wasn't my energy at all. I was the second funniest. Yeah, man, I work hard as shit because I was the second funniest kid. You know what I mean? So like that's like half of my design, and then the other half, I was a big R&B fan. I tell it every chance I get. I'm a huge R&B fan, big Usher fan growing up. So like a lot of my come on man, we here. A lot of my artistic design was designed around like how cool I thought R&B singers was when I was like 8. Them niggas was cool. Nothing cooler than dancing in the rain in a tank top. That's scientifically proven. See, she here with me. I don't need all of y'all. Just need one. But that was like a lot of like how I kind of saw adult me living. Now, adult me has to remind kid me that you got to pay taxes. I didn't know that. So, you know what I mean? It's just a different journey. What you got?
I feel like ever since I was a kid, I always wanted to be like, I always wanted to have like blue hair and all this. Like, I don't know. No, I'm serious. Like, I was bored. Like, I don't know. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, so before, but I like, had strict Hispanic parents or whatever, so I couldn't do nothing to my hair. I was like, I'm tired, like, whatever. So I would usually, like, through, like, how I looked, like, by how I dressed and stuff, they called me Skittles growing up because I was always bright. I was like, well, I can't dye my hair, so I'm going to dress bright. I'm going to have, like, the brightest Nikes, whatever. So, I don't know. I was just always, and that was just growing up, like, I also like to put makeup on when I was little. I would get in trouble for it. I would get smacked. Like, what are you doing? Like, I was always like that. I don't know. I was just a very, like, I was also, like, artistic, too. Like, I like to paint and all that, but I like to, do stuff on myself. And then just as I got older, and I was always that little kid. You remember the cameras, the disposable cameras? Man, okay. Yeah, like any of the Kodak ones, you know what I mean? Yeah, any of those. Like, I was always that girl, like, taking pictures, like, before, like, like, you had to go to CVS and go get them, like, you know what I mean?
Also, when selfies weren't a thing,
Yes,
selfies were a thing.
that's what I'm saying.
Before you could see what you look like, you was just like, we out here.
Yeah, you'd be like, that's why you have to take so many angles, because you don't know. I'm like, damn, like, you get them back, like, half your face cuts off, like, you know what I mean? You don't know what the hell you're doing. But I feel like that definitely, it makes a lot of sense, like, for what I do now. Like, it is what it is. Like, I did the whole school thing. I went to school and I did, all the boring stuff. I was bored. Like, I was like, man, this isn't me. Like, but then, like, you'll have your family telling you, oh, like, there's no jobs in the creative field. You can't do shit. And I'm like, da-da-da. I'm like, well, I mean, I do porn, so, like, I can't tell. Like, my family, some of them know, some of them find out. Like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? But I finally stopped, like, living my life. Like, that's a whole nother story. That's a whole other story.
Tune in to the Spanish Barbie Chronicles.
That's a whole other story. It's all right. We can talk about that. No, but like I stopped living my life like to please other people. That's what I'm trying to say. And it's not like, oh, like you have to do that. Like, no, that's just how my journey went. I'm not saying go out and if you want to, you know what I mean? But like everybody has their own journey. So whatever it is, even if it may sound ridiculous to, oh, you can't make money off of that. You can't do this. You can't do that. Okay, well, I'm going to go do it, and I'll talk to you later. Like, you know what? Like, you just have to, like, after, especially if you grew up, like, strict, when you, like, are finally free to do your own thing, that was a game changer.
You dye your hair blue.
You dye your hair blue. You do all the shit you weren't allowed to do. I was like, oh, yeah? I was like, I'm going to go get tattoos.
I'm going to get tattoo on my nalga.
I'm going to do everything. Everything that they said, oh, that, you can't do or whatever. Like, no. Yeah, I did it. It is what it is. But if you really knew me as a kid, you can't be that surprised now. You can't. But yeah. yeah, that's just,
And in 2022, we're all creatives making a bag, so.
Right. It's different times, you know what I mean? Like, but whatever. Yeah. Just live your best life. I don't care. Do what the fuck you gotta do.
I can say that to add, to what you were saying. I mean, me growing up, I was in the hood and just, in my projects and always been very expressive. I've always been very expressive. If something was on my mind, I was gonna say it. So I always kind of felt like I knew more than everybody else, which is kind of weird because like I went and got a doctorate. Like now I'm like I got a PhD and like people call me doctor and like so you should know a lot of shit. Any little things, common sense. If I don't get it, they're like, and you got a doctorate, and it's like, bro, relax. But asking me health questions like, chill, I'm not on a job right now. But being as expressive as I was early on, I got a lot of backlash from that. Like I got 7 uncles, they all felons. So they critiqued everything that I did to the point where I started to kind of regress, even trying to be smart and be in the hood to where I'm now like acting up. Like my 7th and 8th grade years, I was suspended for like 75 days altogether. Like I barely was there. And I started to kind of like manifest that and overcompensate in so many other different ways. I would skip school, go play basketball all day, thinking about basketball, listening to music. Later on in my teenage years, I started selling drugs. I wanted to be the best drug dealer on the block. Everything that I did, I wanted to go so hard so people could sit there and say, oh, we see what he's doing, whatever he's doing, he's passionate about and doing what he feels like he should be doing, like even if it's out the box. And, luckily enough, later on, I was able to get the opportunity to go to college, and I started to kind of overcompensate in that situation, but it was more of a positive outcome of it. Like, all right, I'm going to keep going to school. And everybody's like, damn, you still in school? You going back? It's like, yeah, all right, now I'm moving to Baltimore. I'm getting a master's. I'm getting a doctorate. I'm doing this. Now I'm a full-time college professor. So it's like, when I saw all of those things early on and people like telling me about how expressive I was, I knew eventually I was going to gravitate towards the arts. But then I also had a little bit of an imposter syndrome because there's not too many people that's like a full-time professor, a rap artist, and I'm not PC. Like sometimes I rap about bitches and fucking drinking and all of that shit, going to the strip club, shit like that. Like I ain't PC. I'm gonna talk about my life. And when I see how I kind of like think about the different situations and experiences that I had growing up, it still comes out today. It's, as much as we want to sit there and say, oh, I'm healed and I've come to grips with the things that I went through as a child, no, it's still there and it still is manifesting itself in our adulthood. Some of us like to ignore it and then it spills out in not so good ways. But when you accept it, you're able to grab it by the horns and use it as a strength to be able to speak publicly about who you really are and, present yourself as the best version of who you are.
Can you repeat the question?
I sure can. So the question was, how did your ambition show up when you were a kid, and or what kind of hobbies or interests did you have as a kid that gave you a clue about the adult that you became and how you operate?
That question's long as fuck. I'm not even gonna lie. Realistically. But what I will say, right? I got a chameleon tattoo right here, right? I'm one of 9. Middle child, so I'm built to survive. I can vibe with anybody from any fucking walk of life. I think that like my ambition as a kid, I was always like have doubt in me. I'm gonna prove you wrong all the time. Underdog syndrome, imposter syndrome. I'm operating in a space of fear, but also flight, like not flight, fight every single time. So, was I naturally like a super competitive person? No, but did I join debate? Yes, I did cheering. Yeah, I was working 40 hours a week at like 16. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. Like, y'all motherfuckers are gonna put some respect on my name. That's like, bottom line, that's like where I operated. Like my ambition as a kid, because I think growing up in a space where like there was like so much natural competition with my siblings, because people don't like acknowledge that when you grow up with a big family or siblings and shit, there's that natural, like, we're all competitive. I'm better than you. I'm faster than you. I'm the best.
Main character energy.
Always, 1,000%. Put some respect on my name. That's it. Like, doubt me, I will prove you wrong. I'm gonna be okay despite odds being put against me. So I always did more. I was the first high school graduate, college graduate. I said, anybody who asks about me, what's Faith up to? Faith's doing something fucking random. Faith did this, that. Yeah, she did. But it's random because you never expected it. Because if somebody said Faith would do this, you would 1,000% doubt it. And that's exactly why she's doing it, because you're doubting me. So my ambition is, it's its own character. My ambition has main character energy. There's like a couple people in me. I'm not gonna lie. We're worried, but we're also relatively mentally healthy, okay? We're safe to drive tonight. Yeah.
Heavy on the relative part.
Relatively.
Oh, you answered first, right? Or did you not? Yes? Okay, so we're moving on. All right. My next question is, what do you value most about yourself?
What do I value most about myself? I love myself.
And I want all y'all to know that.
Yeah, but that's the most important thing, especially if you work in the creative space, because you're going to go out there, and you're going to try to find love in clout, you're going to try to find love in money, you're going to try to find love getting drunk, getting high, you're going to try to find love in womanizing, or whatever your sexual preference is, you're going to try to find love in that. If you don't love yourself, you're just going to, especially when you get to that certain level where money's coming in and everything's hidden right, you're just going to fall off completely. And you're going to fuck up a lot of shit if you don't love yourself. So everyone got to tell themselves they love themselves, okay? Seriously, though. Look in the mirror tonight before you go to sleep. Be like, I love my fucking self. Say that shit louder. Y'all love yourselves?
I love my fucking self.
All right. There we go. There we go. There we go.
Yeah, say that.
I love myself. I love myself. Oh, what's up, me? Oh, no, go ahead, baby. You good?
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead.
No pissing competition today.
Nah. Talk your shit.
I respect the Beanie Baby.
Come on,
Period.
man. Huh? Yeah. Come on, man. Let's focus, guys. Let's focus. Let's give them the show.
Focused.
Check.
I would say authenticity. I think that, like, being yourself, being true to yourself, owning your shit, owning your strengths, your weaknesses, like, for me, that's what I like most about myself. Because, like, yeah, I might fuck up here and there, or a lot, more than others. Like, and that's fine, because guess what? You know what I always say, and my friends will quote me on this. I'm rich as fuck in character. Nobody will ever take that shit away from me. Like, it don't matter what I got in my bank account or where I don't, because, again, we're not, like, y'all are not the IRS, so nobody's, like, keeping tabs on me. But guess what? I'm rich as fucking character based off of my experience and everything, and nobody will ever be able to take that I'm real. Real. And real is, babe, you don't look great all the time. You look a little crazy. You fucked up a couple times. Or a lot. More often than not, you done fucked up. And that's okay, because, like, celebrate that. Celebrate your L's, because, again, it adds to your richness. They'll never be able to take that away from you. And, yeah, I try to be authentic because I'm a believer in, just like be who you want other people to be. And I like realness. I want realness. And I think that we're in a society that, like, motherfuckers celebrate real. They want real, but they can't handle real. And real is like, oh, she's problematic. Maybe I'm problematic. On paper, I might be problematic because I'm not perfect. But on hindsight, if you take a step back and really look at it and really appreciate the whole thing, beautiful disaster. Controlled chaos. Celebrate me. I'm going to celebrate myself. Y'all motherfuckers don't give me my flowers. I buy myself flowers every week. I will celebrate myself, okay? That's fine. because I'm authentic and I want everybody else to be authentic. I celebrate that shit. Be you. Period. Snap, 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 snap. Oh.
Sorry, I'm still thinking. Go ahead.
Can you repeat it one more time? I want to make sure I answer it correctly.
What do you value most about yourself?
What I value most about myself is, she said my PhD. Quick spiel about that. I got my PhD in the paper format. It took me like 3 years to actually put it in a frame. That shit was like in a drawer, rolled up for mad long. It got wrinkles on it and shit. But I think what I value most about myself is my belief in the community. I'm a very communal person. When I look at the world, I look at the fact that if we look at the United States, right, and we look at it from a holistic standpoint, if you look around the room, we're all very diverse, from the color of our hair, the way that we speak, right, the different type of views that we have, the different type of answers that we have. You said how many siblings you got? 9, right? It's very diverse, and just how our family makeup is, and it's a lot of strengths that come with that. And some people like to focus on just the weaknesses. Even in the urban community, or what you consider to be the hood, like it's a lot of gems and diamonds that are in the hood. You just got to dig them out the dirt and dust them off a little bit, and they shine for the entire world to see. When I finished and got all these different academic accolades and shit like that, when I came back to the hood, everybody was like, why did you come back here? And I was like, because if I was birthed out of this environment and this struggle, there are other people that need to see this and might need some of the support that people aren't giving them. And we have to understand that we'll do this together. And they always tell me like, yo, you wasted your time talking to this person. I said, no. I said, they ain't ready right now, but that don't mean I give up on them because they might be ready next week. They might be ready next month. They might be ready next year. I don't give a fuck. As long as one day they sit there in the mirror and say, okay, I want also be the change that I wish to see. Because this world has to be able to operate as a community. In order for us to come in here, somebody had to organize it, find moderators, find a host, and we have to all agree upon it. And some people think that they're self-made, so they kind of get secluded and they don't appreciate the value of community and reaching out and asking people for help, collaborating with them. I love the fact that every day I wake up, I'm always thinking about how I can work with other people better, not how I can just be better. And that's hard to do because, we're pretty much egotistical, and, a lot of people want to sit there and, just like my pictures, I don't like yours. Follow me, I won't follow you back. That's the world that we live in now, but don't lose that sense of community because we need that in order to thrive, all right?
Fire, everybody. Thinking about the question for a long enough time, the only thing that came to mind was I appreciate my ability to continuously try. I feel like that's like outside of all the ego stuff or whatever that like we all use as like our artistic mainframe, is I think sometimes we don't give ourselves enough credit for the pursuit outside of the goals. You know what I mean? Like if you don't reach your goal the way you saw it, it's like, oh, it's not worth it. But nah. The fact that you like trying and will continuously try and try something different, you're trying to reach a goal. And I kind of lean more towards in life saying you don't try, you do. But sometimes it's good to just appreciate the fact that you are trying every day, one step at a time, one foot in front of the other. So I think that's my favorite skill.
Nice. I like that. Very nice. Okay. Probably for me, the fact that I'm tough. Like, yeah, like, okay, I'm soft, but I'm tough. Does that make sense? Yeah, like I'm. It's possible to be both, because I am. But what I'm saying, like, I'm tough is that, like, man, like, a lot of things have like in everybody's life, like, we all have things that we've gone through, you know what I mean? And it's like everybody always says, oh, you have to, like, be strong. And I'm like, well, I'm fucking tired of being strong all the goddamn time. Like, I'm tired of, like, having to, just always pull myself up from my bootstraps. You know what I mean? Like, it's because just being a person, an adult, a mother, all the things that you are is exhausting enough, right? So it's like, and almost when you're going through something, you feel like you can't talk about it to people because, like, you're just whatever. You feel like you're burdening them. You don't want to add stress. You know what I'm saying? But either way, so for me, with all that being said, it sometimes is a miracle to me that I'm sitting here sometimes, like seriously. But that's what I like about myself. I'm like, damn, when I really, really put my mind to things, even if it may take me some time, like this is not a contest, you know what I mean? So however long it takes me is however long it takes me, but I'm just happy that, you know, I'm where I am right now, and that, of course, of where I plan on going to, because life is hard. I don't think we have to pretend, you know? But I'm also very thankful for, like, the support system I have and all. Like, I wouldn't have definitely not gotten out of things like doing it alone, but, you know, it's hard, you know what I mean, when you fall down to get yourself back up. But once you, like, get to that point and you're like, I never want to be here again, you know, like, for me, like, that's a game changer. So yeah, that would be something that would probably be the thing that I admire the most about myself.
Thank you. Okay. Moving into another question that I had, which is, how do you balance your passion and the perception that creativity is just a hobby you're doing to pass the time? I'm gonna repeat that one because it's a little long, but you feel me? How do you balance your passion and how the perception of creativity is just a hobby that you're doing to pass the time?
I could say that the balance of it is, number one, just making sure that you're hitting your benchmarks individually. I'm very goal-oriented, so every day I wake up, I have like a checklist of different things that I need to get done. And as far as it just being a passion, it has to be aligned with exactly how you want it to be presented to the world. What am I doing to be able to make sure that people know that this is not a game? Right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit there and gather people together. I'm going to put out music. I'm going to do these different speaking engagements to let you guys know exactly what I'm thinking every single day and what I'm working hard towards. Some people like to have their passion, and I'm pretty sure we all do this as artists. We don't tell nobody that we're working on it first. We keep it quiet. It's a secret. We don't tell nobody, right? Especially being in a rap game, a lot of people are like, yo, I spit too. But that's the easy part. The hard part is actually taking your art and telling people, I want to take this shit seriously. And even though they want to take it seriously, it comes off as a hobby because I can't sit there and submit myself and poke my chest out and say, this is who I am, this is my role, and this is what I'm going to be giving out to the rest of the world. Sometimes we just not confident. It takes a little bit of time for you to be able, like we talked about imposter syndrome before, for you to own up what you're working towards. You talked about trying earlier, right? What are you trying to do? Some of us don't want to speak about what we're actually doing. And we might minimize it and say, it's my little rap thing, it's my little comedy thing, that I got. Or your family members might say that. You be like, yeah, no. We about to argue. Ain't shit over here little. Everything big. You heard. So in balancing that, we got to make ends meet. We got to be able to use our passion and be able to make a living for ourselves. And it's not instant gratification. Like we said before, this is something that is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So as long as you got people around you that understand that, you're a work in progress like we all are, right? Then they should look at your life's work, because this is our life's work, not just our art, but our life's work, as something that should be taken seriously.
Don't hate me, but can you repeat the question?
How do you balance your passion and the perception that creativity is just a hobby that you're doing to pass the time?
Hey.
Thank God.
Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, quick question. Y'all still here with us? I just want to make sure I can. All right, awesome.
My question's too long? I'm sorry.
Nah, your question's fantastic. All right. The best way I can say I personally, man, I don't got no act. It's real hard to sit on the seat, and it's been fucking with me this whole time. I'm gonna just stand for a second. how I this shit was crazy,
can
bro.
take it back to how
I was
your
trying to be all
childhood
serious on this
represented-
fucking chair. This shit was stupid. How I balance things is, well, for one, for the first half of it, right? I look at it and say, like for comedy, right? Like, everybody think they funny. Everybody like says, oh, I can be a comedian, blah, 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 blah. Cool. I always tell anybody who wants to do it, I don't care if you're funny. That's like the least important thing to me. It's not the least important, but it's like the bare minimum. Because the real testament to me on if you want to do it is, do you want to do it when it sucks? Do you want to make people laugh when they don't want to laugh? Do you want to draw when no one's buying your shit? Do you want to rap when no one thinks you're good? Do you have the resilience to keep going in that aspect of it? And I think that's like an earlier sign for like you to tell whenever it transitions beyond a hobby to like, this is what you do. Like karaoke, you want to go to karaoke because there's no standard. You're good. You can just go sing and fuck around. If you sing in the church and you know your church don't care about how you sing and you keep going every Sunday or every day that you practice that, like that's, you're telling yourself, hey, I care about this. Now let's go a little bit harder. Let's focus a little bit more, but I like this. I care about this, and I'm willing to do it even if nobody else believes in me. And I think that's like a good sign of it.
Own that shit. Own that shit.
I go. I could go. I think I can. I'm gonna loosely go. I'm gonna loosely go, right? Passion, right? Yeah. I don't know. I think that like, again, chameleon tattoo. I'm gonna mention it again. So I'm multifaceted, and my passion in like being. I celebrate being all. I'm not one. I'm everything. So people's like, you're doing this, you're doing. No, I'm doing everything because I'm all. And I'm multifaceted, and I want to celebrate that everybody fucking has that in them, right? So my passion is love, light, and also seeing the good in people and seeing the potential in people even when they don't see that in themselves. So how I balance that in everyday life is, bitch, I'm a good person, bro. Like I give even when I'm in a position to take. 1,000,001 times I've been in positions I could take 1,000%, but I don't have boundaries in a way where like I'm not like I think that my love is all encompassing. It's all. I'm gonna continue giving love and continue believing in people, and I'm gonna keep giving and thinking that everyone can be everything because I want that in return. And guess what? I could wait 20 years, 30 fucking years for it to ever like come back to me. But my passion is people. That's why I have an associate's in psychology, a bachelor's in psychology. I got a minor in biology because I like science and shit. But I have a partial master's in, nobody knows what this is, but it's industrial organizational psychology. Exactly. What the fuck does that even mean, right? I like people. I believe in people, right? That's basically what that is, right? Look it up. That's not what it will say, okay? That's my translation. But I believe in people. And I think that in believing in people, you have to believe in the good nature of people and love and light and everything. And so, yeah, my passion is people. So that's me. I'm sorry. Like, I think everybody has greatness in them. And even if you don't see it, I'm going to see it. Sometimes I don't see it in myself, but everybody's like, oh, you're right. You're right, I am. On a good day. Monday through Friday. On the weekends, it's like subpar. I don't know. But, yeah, just spreading love, light, and believing in the better nature of people. My passion is people. So, yeah, that's how I manifest that in real life.
Now, how do I find balance in all of this? Obsession. Look, I started off 19, I was an intern at USA Today, making $0. You know, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer then too. I was so obsessed with telling myself one day I'm gonna make a lot of money in this media shit. I'm gonna make hella shit. I don't care what anyone told me. And the years kept passing by. 20, still not making money. 21, graduated from University of Maryland Eastern Shore for my bachelor's, still not making money. 22, still not was making okay. I was a social media coordinator at a healthcare firm. It wasn't shit. The intern, who was the son of the owner, was making more money than I was, and he was 18. I was mad as shit too. 23, still not making money. But I was interning under some of the best publicists in the world. I mean, working with people like Candace Parker, DMX, Wu-Tang, rest in peace, DMX too. That's a great guy right there. Working with hella people, still not making money. 24, graduated from Bowie State with my master's in PR. Still not making money. And a couple months later, because I got in trouble with the law, I got a DUI and shit, I was living on my car because I couldn't get a job. And came to the New York area. I'm from DC, by the way, just so people know. You from DC too? Oh, I was like, no. I love my home, so I heard that, like, okay. Anyway, 24 to 25, well, almost to 25, living out my car, barely making anything, trying to just make ends meet, picking up any client. One thing I had was obsession. I kept telling myself, I am so obsessed with making it. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna do anything because I still got morals. I'm Muslim, you know, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna shoot somebody, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. No. I still gotta stick to that. But when you're obsessed, you're gonna plan around, you're gonna set benchmarks, you're gonna be like, I gotta do this day, by this day, by this day. If not, I gotta plan how to make it work. Because I got no plan B. My plan A is what I see myself doing. 26, when it really started clicking, and that was like I finally got my first high-paying job. Then other gigs started falling along because I proved to whoever that I can do my job. And I can speak about it, Mike. And what I will say is, at 26, when I made my first 6 figures doing this shit, I literally went from 15K to 6. And I was like, damn. And then, keep in mind, my dad is Puerto Rican, my mom is black and Caribbean. So they're naturally gonna tell me, John, you ain't making money, you 26 and you a bum. Okay. Let's compare bank accounts. I can pay your bills. I love y'all to death, but I can do it. 20. Hey, I could. Okay, that's good. 27, still progressing. Got into some obstacles because, you know, that's just life. Still doing well. I'm still obsessed with progressing because some of my mentors are millionaires. Said, I'm looking at their life, their cars, everything. I'm like, I could do better. So I'm obsessed with progressing. And now at 28, finding the balance to not really be so obsessive, but appreciative of the little things that got me here. But I'm just obsessed with progression and making sure that my family's okay, my clients are good, you know, being obsessed with the beauty of life. Now at 28, about 9 years in this industry, my God. Just a quick question, how long y'all just been creatives? Just making money? Anybody? Being creative, just being creative.
If you were around with MySpace days.
Shout out to MySpace. What, anyone around from Black Planet? The point is, you don't gotta be so obsessed you just do anything to make it. You gotta be so obsessed with the mindset of you gotta tough it out when shit gets real, and you gotta be obsessed when shit is good, not being stagnant that shit is going good. You gotta be like, oh, this might not last forever. What are some ways that I could obsess over making sure I can make this a lifestyle? It is a marathon, not a race, like Nipsey, you know? So yeah.
On that note, thank you. All right. Just to wrap it up, I have one final question, and then we're going to get into some musical acts. So don't go nowhere because we have some more talent to come. But my final question, and we're going to wrap up this panel, is what inspires you to keep going as a creative? It's too loaded, so don't load it up.
No. My inspiration is, it's always, and this has always been family, because I've always been the first to do anything in my family. Go to school, get my degree, get my master's, to do anything. Like, I don't care about all the glitz and glamours of this shit because that shit's only on earth. I care about my family and just putting them in the proper spot, so that motivates me every single day. The ones that are alive and the ones that are dead.
What inspires me to continue being creative? Yeah. All right. Not to get. There we go. Oh my God. No music. There we go. Okay, hold on. So not to get woo woo and love, light, all that kumbaya shit, but absolutely all that. So what inspires me is this idea that like everything, especially energy, and this is exactly why I picked up a bio minor, because I believe like energy is biology, it's fucking science. Like nobody could ever discredit science, okay? They could say it in the stars, also like scientific notion, all that. Play with me, don't play with me. But anyways, so you give out what you're willing to receive, and I just believe in you be the change you wish to see in the world. I give love, I give energy for free, because a lot of people they only show up to shit, they only put in effort when they're in a receiving mood. They give when they think they're receiving. You need to be in a mindset where you give, regardless if you're gonna receive or not. Just give blindly, give love, light, all that energy. My energy I give for free. And it's a lot, because energy is a frequency. It's expensive. That's the same thing, time is energy, all that, right? But I believe in that, and that's why I will continue giving it. And what was the question I got? One to help me find me. Help me find myself. Yes. Inspiration. What inspires me is to give, and you shall receive. So I'm going to keep giving, because I think that me being kind and generous to other people without expecting anything in return will inspire other people to give no problem, with no questions, and not be in a receiving mood. Like, we're giving because it's loving and it's genuine and it's authentic. We give without thinking and expecting that we're receiving. And that's what inspires me. Yeah.
Gracias.
De nada. That's all I know.
What inspires me to keep going as a creative is really the opportunity to continue to add value to the world. When I look at, I told y'all earlier that I, rap about like a bunch of authentic shit about my life and stuff like that. But I do, tailor a lot of my music around, socially conscious efforts, a lot of introspection. And sometimes, that ain't the most popular shit. You got Dirk, Moneybagg, y'all love their music, but they get more likes than I do. So when I sit there, sometimes I might be like, damn, like I put this project out there and they ain't get the outcome that I wanted, they ain't get the likes I wanted, the gratification that I wanted. And then, it's just happened a couple weeks ago. I got a message from someone, and, she was like, I haven't talked to her in like, I'm going to say years, probably like 4 years. And she said, yo, I see everything that you're doing. I might not comment and like what you got going on Instagram. She said, but you motivate me so much with everything that you're doing. And when I got that message, I needed that message the most, because I felt so discouraged about what I was doing that week. I forgot what happened. It was one of my losses that I should have just, one of my L's that I should have just received as a lesson or opportunity to learn. But it's the opportunity to be able to impact others that keep me going, to understand that I am inspiring others as I'm living and breathing and adding value to other people's lives out there. So as long as I can continue to do that, I'm all right where I'm at.
Probably for me is that, so obviously I'm, like I said before, I'm a very like expressive person. I'm big on creativity. I'm big on, be who you want to be, like whoever, like dress however the hell you want, like express yourself however, you feel necessary. And because I just feel like, especially now, are we at a point where we could just like, let people live? Like, why do we care about what the next person is doing with their lives? Why do we, why are you staring at that person for? Like, don't you know you're making them feel uncomfortable? Because I'll stare back. I do that now. I don't care. I'm not going to be the only person feeling uncomfortable, so it's going to be the both of us, But it's just like, you know, because I just feel like when I meet people, I treat them with respect. I don't, you know, judge a book by its cover. You know what I'm saying? I try not to. I mean, come on now, like we all make jokes about stereotypes about people. Like that's being honest, you know? But, you know, but for real, I don't, you know, look at somebody and I try not to, you know, I don't know this person, you know, let me see how they are for myself. So, but either way, I'm just big on, you know, like people tell me all the time, oh, I like your hair. Like I love it. I appreciate it and all that. But what I appreciate more is someone will come to me and be like, yo, I know it sounds corny, it sounds cheesy, but people will be like, yo, because of you, I wasn't scared to do this anymore. Because of you, like just being how you are, even if it wasn't directly exactly something I did, you know what I mean? But just the thought that, you know, because of you, I decided to go this direction in my life and this, that. And I'm like, oh, they're telling me, I'm like, oh, well, thanks. Like, I didn't know, like, I did that for you, but that's what it is. Like, when you are just confident in who you are and just authentic, like we're always talking about being genuine and authentic, like, believe it or not, just you being who you are can inspire the shit out of other people. You may never even know, but they may never even tell you. But I don't know. To me, like, because of course, like in life, we all want the similar things. We all, you know, we all want money. We all want, you know, the trips and all. Like, that's like, okay, yeah, we all want that. But what really will feed your soul, you know what I mean, is, at least for me, is knowing that I could at least have someone be like, you know what? Like, I did that, you know, because, like, she inspired me, you know, and I'm happier, you know, now because of it. So, yeah.
Top tier shit. That's top tier. To be honest, y'all took all the good answers, and y'all know that. So I'm going to make up some bullshit, and I hope it comes out well, all right? The only thing I can think to say is, like, you know, it feels really good impacting people in little ways and big ways or whatever, but then it feels good for myself, man. Like, you know, I think as artists, a lot of this shit is cathartic. It's our way of expressing ourselves and clearing our minds, whether we go to therapy or paint or joke around and shit like that. You know what I mean? So, you know, I could put it on everybody and be like, oh, yeah, I do it for y'all, man. Some of this shit is for me. So, you know what I mean? So in that regard, I think that answered your question. Or it was bullshit, but I told you I was doing that from the beginning.
With that being said, give yourselves a round of applause for being a part of this conversation. Give a round of applause to our panelists who toughed out and are still here. Give a round of applause to DJ Thematics holding it down on the ones and twos. Give yourselves a round of applause because you're here. This was powered by Underground Advocates. We have quite a few shows coming up, lined up, doing a couple of things.